Hey everyone, it's Christine and I am here with another homeschool curriculum video for you today. A bunch of you requested that I do a flip through of a BJU English grade 2. Some of you have asked for their reading as well, and I will get to that, but I'm going to start with this first because this is what we've been using at the moment, and I know how helpful it is to see inside curriculum before you actually purchase it. So I'm going to show you what it looks like inside and how we're using it. I'm using this with my 7-year-old daughter at the moment. She's going to be 8 soon. And we're really, really happy with it. So we're just doing parent led. I don't even have the teacher's guide. I'm just doing this, just the textbook with her, or the workbook, sorry, with her. And yeah, I'm going to show you what it looks like. So if you're interested, keep watching. Before we jump into the flip through, I did want to just let you know that my homeschool planner is now available in my Etsy store. If you're interested in an undated, printable homeschool planner that is affordable, go ahead and check it out. I created it with myself in mind because I have very specific needs and wants when it comes to a homeschool planner. I rely on it pretty heavily, but I don't have a ton of extra pages that I use, and so the printable version gives you a lot of flexibility as to how you want to put it together yourself. So go ahead and check that out. I'll have it linked in the description below. But let's now look into BJU Press Grade 2. Right, so this is the textbook or the workbook for English 2, Writing and Grammar from BJU Press. And I purchased this. It didn't come spiral bound. I ripped out all the pages and put spiral binding on it because I really like being able to flip a book on its back, and just I like the way it sits better. So that's not going to come looking like this, because I do sometimes get people asking me, why doesn't mine look like that? But otherwise, this is how it came. So this is what it looks like inside. And you'll see I cut the corner of the pages because it's how I keep track of where we're up to. You've got your contents here. So each chapter focuses on something specific, and they tend to alternate their writing chapters and their grammar chapters. Although in this grade, it's not like every second chapter. It's just like, every few chapters. So we're up to, I think we've just finished chapter 4, or we're up to chapter 4. Yeah, we're just starting chapter 4. And she has done 2 grammar chapters, and she's just finished a writing chapter. So you've got words and sentences in the first one, sentences, writing poetry, action verbs, writing a personal story, more nouns, pronouns, more verbs, writing a friendly letter, adjectives, writing an instructions paragraph, more sentences, writing an opinion paragraph, study and research skills, writing a research report. And so that is what each chapter is dedicated to. There is review built into each chapter. At the end of each chapter, there's what they call a cumulative review. So there is review in there, because I was a little concerned that there wouldn't be. And then at the back here, you've got a handbook with a dictionary, a thesaurus, the writing process, writing models, and abbreviations. So it's pretty thorough. So each chapter begins with a page like this, where there's a little intro to it. Why are words important? It is very much a biblical worldview. So if you're looking for secular, this is not it. God is interwoven all throughout this curriculum. And so, yeah, there's a little introduction there. And then there's a page here that you will refer to in the lessons as well. Words and sentences. Now, each chapter, it goes over the same parts of speech over and over and over again throughout the year, and it just builds on itself each time. So when I teach my daughter, this is what I do. I look at this little yellow box that's at the top here, and I read this to her. A sentence is a group of words that is a complete thought. This is a sentence. Frogs swim in the pond. This is not a sentence. Lives in the pond. And then I use this page, and I just go through this page with her, and we work through these questions to make sure that she's getting an understanding of the concept being taught. And then typically speaking, she will do this back page on her own independently. And it's just going over the things that were taught that day. Now, I do not use a teacher's guide. So far, I haven't felt like I needed it. You can see at the bottom of the page, it tells you, maybe not on this. Oh, there we go. On the bottom of this page, it says lesson 2. So you can see how many pages are in each lesson. And for the grammar pages, that's usually a front and back. But for the writing chapters, it can be more than that. So I'll show you that when we get there. So then here we're talking about an action word. So they haven't introduced the term verb and noun yet. They're just using like the abstract idea of it, I guess. Naming words, the action part. So it's very much workbook based. So if you're not into that, this is not going to be the curriculum for you, but this works well for us. My daughter really likes this kind of a book. And I am finding that she's learning and it's getting done pretty quickly. So I appreciate that. So I'm going to get to the end of, here we go. The end of the first chapter, there's no cumulative review because there's not really much to review, but there is a journal page, and this is at the end of each chapter. And it's just like a place for them to write. So there's the journal page. Complete each sentence by telling about one way that you use each skill. There's that. And then we move on to sentences. This is the next one. Again, you've got your intro page there and this bit here, and then the same thing. This is a sentence. It's just going over the same kind of thing. There's a lot of review. Sentence actions. So they talk about an action part of a sentence and a subject part of a sentence. And then you do have the odd page that's just practice. So it's not introducing anything new, it's just a practice page. Statements and questions, so the types of sentences, commands, sentences and fragments again. And then I just want to show you what the review looks like at the end of the chapter. Here we go. You've got chapter 2 review. Now, what I do with my daughter is I have her do all this in one day because it's not, she doesn't find it too much. Your child might, but she doesn't. So you've got a review of the chapter. So this is the review of what they've just learned in this chapter, and that's like a front and back. And then you have cumulative review, which is a review of what they've learned this year to date in this book. So it's like a combination of everything that they've learned. And that's a front and back. She didn't do here because this was like she had just done this. And so I was like, she doesn't need to do that again. She's fine. And then there's a journal page as well. And that's like your review at the end of each chapter. That's how it looks like. And so I combine that, and that combines several lessons, which shortens down how many lessons we have to get done because we only school 4 days a week, and this is set up for 5 days a week. So that really like cuts back on it. Writing and poetry. This is the one that she's just completed. So this was her first writing chapter, and she really enjoyed this. This is the writing process. They have this repeated over and over again, so you can see it and your child can see it. I will say the writing chapter, it is helpful to just sort of read ahead a little bit to have an idea of what they're going to need to do, because there were a couple times where I was caught out and I was like, oh, I didn't have that like ready, or I didn't plan to do it that way or whatever. But it's would be like 2 minutes to read ahead. It's not like a plan and prep and all that kind of thing. But just a little bit of a reading ahead. So that's her thing that she's done there. There's couplets. And she loves it because she gets to draw things, and she loves to draw. So she got to do that in this chapter. So you've got your drafting, revision, and then you're going to publish things. Here they're talking about shape poems. Which here is where I did not read ahead. She was supposed to actually pick one of these shapes on the other side of the page, and we just did our own thing. So I ended up printing her out an outline of the animals she chose, and we did it that way. So yeah, I haven't used all of this because she sometimes has written in just like a composition notebook. So we didn't always write in here. But we did all the steps there. And then she just had a cumulative review at the end of that chapter. And that's where we're up to so far. So now she's going to be moving on to nouns. And again, you've got your intro, and then it's the same sort of thing. I'll zoom in for you a little bit there. It's colorful and engaging, but it is a workbook, you know. But for this grade, I definitely haven't found like I needed to have the teacher guide at all. It's been very self-explanatory. And she's doing pretty well with it. Practice. There's some scripture in it. Commas in a series. Chapter 4 review. Again, you've got your chapter 4 review, your cumulative review, and then your journal, which is here. Action verbs. So I would say there is definitely more grammar than there is writing in here, which is very age appropriate. Yeah, so that's what it's going to look like. And she, so far, I think she's enjoyed this more than Abeka, to be honest. I don't know why, but she has. So the one that it ends with is a research paper. And like the last few chapters are writing. Like here, you've got study and research skills is chapter 15. And then the last chapter, they actually do a research paper. And there's one where they write an opinion paragraph. Like this teaches them how to structure a paragraph, how to write an opinion paragraph. Like that's all in here. So you've got the computer, library, like lots of different ways to research. And then you've got your writing your research report. And here, writing a report. You've got literature links here. So this, of course, is a standalone English curriculum. You're not going to have spelling and handwriting and stuff like that included in this. But they do work on all those skills while they're doing it. But if you want those like specifically and intentionally, then you will need to add to this. And this is not phonics. This is grammar and writing. So if you want phonics, you want to use their reading curriculum that goes with it, or, you know, just supplement with whatever else you have. But there's lots of, you know, helpful instruction and examples and stuff in there. And then it just ends with that. There's your writing handbook. So this has got like instructions on how to write a paragraph. And this is very helpful for you as the teacher, you know. I like that they've got a thesaurus and a dictionary in here because it helps with the writing process. Like when they're subbing out sort of more generic words with, they call them colorful words. You can just look back here with your child. So that's how it is all laid out. And yeah, I didn't get any tests. I don't test at this age or anything, but you can get tests that come along with it. But I just got the workbook. And that is what we've been using, and we've been enjoying it so far, and I can definitely see her learning and retaining information, and to me, that's like one of the most important things. So I think that is everything for the flip through. So thank you for watching. I hope that you found that really helpful. If you do have any questions for me, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer you. Yeah. Happy to answer any questions you have about it and how we use it and how we use it like with flexibility in our homeschool. But I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars,